Greetings, gamers, and welcome to a Misfit Gamer Studios production. I am your host, Vortex. That handsome gentleman to my left is your co-host, Kage, and this is Subclass Showdown, a brand new series where we take submissions from our community, put them head-to-head, and we and you vote to see who is going to win today's Subclass Showdown. Today is the Battle of the Elements, because we have two competitors, SoulCollectiveGuild and Hecate95. They have submitted Ranger subclasses of the Elemental Persuasion. Yes, they have given themselves a prompt to make Elemental Rangers, and we are here to find out which one is better.
Yes, indeed.
I hope everybody is ready for this. But first, what are we doing here? Let's talk about it, everyone. This will be our battlefield for today. What are you going to be seeing on screen? Well, first, you'll see just here to my left, right in between Kage and I, the ongoing scores that each of them have. Those will be updated as we go. So right now, scores
I love it.
are equal. Next, when it comes down to the rules, let's discuss mechanics. We have a 3.8B voting system, best of 5. So that means best 3 out of 5,
okay,
or first to 3, however you'd like to say that.
Perfect.
The mechanics are very simple. Each round there's going to have a combination of 3 votes. 1 vote from Kage, 1 vote from me, and 1 vote from chat. Chat will get a poll, and it'll be an A-B poll. You will choose which subclass you think won that round. Chat's votes will be combined, and whichever side wins gets that vote. And each round, of course, will result in 1 point. So if you get 2 out of the 3 votes, you will get 1 point for that round.
Beautiful, beautiful.
4 main rounds to see if we get a winner. And if somehow we tie, we will have a surprise tiebreaker round.
5th round tiebreaker. I love it.
Let's move on. That is the mechanics of how today will work. Let's talk about the round info. How the rounds will work is we are going to be judging based on several factors. In round 1, after we present the subclasses, we are going to be judging on prompt integration. This is a judge on how does it feel? Does it belong? Or does it feel like it belongs, I should say.
Does it feel like it belongs? Okay, I feel that.
Round number 2 will be a vote on originality. Have we seen this before? It'll be about innovation.
I like it.
Round 3 will be features and mechanics.
Features and mechanics. Okay.
Does it work as a ranger subclass?
Okay.
And then round 4. This is another surprise round that we will keep the details until round 4.
Okay.
But this, in round 4, we are going to get to see the subclasses in action.
I like it. I like it a lot.
Chat, I hope everybody is keeping up. But we are going to keep round 4 and the tiebreaker round a secret until we get there.
Very fair.
So I guess it is time.
It is time.
It is time. I have some information here from the participants themselves. This is to give you an idea of where this challenge came from and the prompt that they gave themselves. We created this challenge for fun and something different to do. Source and theme, we picked an idea from a couple of choices I threw out, this is Hecate's writing, to see which one we would like to try, and I gave an idea of a theme and class for each idea. The theme we chose was a Ranger subclass that embraces the elements and uses it to their fullest potential. This challenge was to take an idea and see how each of us would make a subclass with it, an analysis of these subclasses and how they compare, and a choice on which you would prefer to play with, and which fits the theme better. Those are the things we will be judging today. Next, I have some snippets from the participants themselves.
Okay.
From Hecate. My approach to this was using 4 distinct elements that can be found everywhere, no matter what place, and to harness those elements into a ranger's fighting style and navigating certain terrains that element they happen to be in. I also wanted to make something that gets stronger over time, starting from a base of understanding simple elements, then using them intertwiningly later.
Okay. Okay.
Let's move on to Soul. Soul says, my goal for building my Conclave was to harness the powers of the elements into their battle strategies. I decided that with my approach, you could take a ranger either path, melee or ranged based, and still do effective combat. By using the newer 2024 Ranger rules, it adds a nice twist that 2014 doesn't show. By using a limited list of elements, the Rangers can manipulate the combat in their directions. So now that we've heard from both of our submitters, bam and bam. There we are. All right, so we are going to take turns. From here on out, we will just do a side-by-side comparison. I will read my description. You will read yours. Maybe a brief discussion. Remember, this is not a review. This is taking it for face value and judging on its merits. All right. Elemental Strider. Ranger archetype subclass from Hecate95. The primeval powers that shape the world still pulse through every forest, desert, storm-torn plain, and icy tundra. While most rangers focus on a single aspect of nature, elemental striders learn to harness all four primal forces: wood, lightning, fire, and ice within themselves. Whether lashing foes with living roots, hurling crackling bolts of thunderous energy, igniting blasts of scorching heat, or freezing an enemy's blood with relentless cold, an elemental strider becomes a living conduit for the wild's might, channeling nature's boundless fury to protect what is sacred and lay low those who threaten the balance. Elemental Strider.
Well. That's beautiful.
What do we have
So,
for the competitor?
the Conclave of the Quivered Elements, the Ranger archetype by Soul Collective. Their description: from the beginning, those who found a liking for archery have tried many ways to find a way to enhance their abilities. Some found mastered techniques through taming beasts, while others harnessed the elements to hunt with and enhance themselves. Many have tried multiple ways to harness these powers, but only those who are successful with communicating with nature have become the host of nature's gift. After years of harnessing the powers, rangers have found ways to imbue their elements through their arrows and natural abilities. Most lean towards one element to aid their hunt, such as harnessing fire to cook their prey, while others utilize nature's natural foliage to aid in traps to capture their prey. While their newfound elements, rangers have become the hunters of the dimensional planes, harnessing from the elemental planes themselves. Wild. Absolutely wild.
I'm torn. I like both of them.
I really like the idea of Conclave of the Quivered Elements. I feel like that one feels very tuned into the community. It feels like it's a part of whatever society that it came out of.
All right, so that's our description. Here's our images, everybody. So those are our two images.
Beautiful.
So moving on to ability number 1. At 3rd level, our Elemental Strider gets Elemental Infusion. You learn to channel elemental energy through your weapon attacks. You have a number of uses equal to your wisdom modifier, minimum of 1. At 15th level, you add half your proficiency bonus rounded down. You regain all expended uses when you finish a long rest. When you take the attack action on your turn and hit a creature with a weapon attack, you can expend 1 use of your elemental infusion to enhance that attack with one of the following effects. The target and any other creatures affected must make their saving throws against your ranger spell save DC. One of the 4 following features. You can choose wood, grasping roots. The target takes an extra 1d6 plus your wisdom modifier bludgeoning damage. It must then make a strength saving throw. On a failed save, it becomes restrained, and it remains restrained until it escapes. A restrained creature can repeat the saving throw at the end of each of its turns, ending the effect on itself on a success. The damage increases to 2d6 at 7th level, 3d6 at 11th level, and 4d6 at 15th level. If you choose lightning, you get Forked Bolt. The target takes an extra 1d8 plus your wisdom modifier lightning damage. Then choose a different creature within 15 feet of the target. That creature must make a dexterity saving throw. On a failed save, it takes 1d8 lightning damage. On a successful save, it takes half damage. The damage increases to 2d8 at 7th level, 3d8 at 11th level, and 4d8 at 15th level. If you choose fire, which is Scorching Burst, the target takes an extra 1d6 plus your wisdom modifier fire damage. Flames then erupt in a 10-foot radius centered on the target. Each creature other than you in that area must make a DC saving throw. That includes allies. On a failed save, a creature takes 1d6 fire damage and is pushed back 5 feet. On a successful save, it takes half damage. The damage increases to 2d6 at level 7, 3d6 at 11th level, 4d6 at 15th level. Finally, you can choose Ice, Chilling Shock. The target takes an extra 1d8 plus your wisdom modifier cold damage and must make a constitution saving throw. On a failed save, its speed is reduced by 10 feet until the end of its next turn. If it fails the save by 5 or more, it can't take reactions until the end of its next turn. The damage increases to 2d8 at 7th level, 3d8 at 11th level, 4d8 at 15th level. You can choose a different element each time you use your elemental infusion, allowing you to adapt quickly to changing circumstances. Chef's fucking kiss, if I do say. I'm sorry, I didn't even know. I know that this is the one that I have to read off of, but the dynamicism, fucking, a couple changes I would make if this were a review, but sure. Fucking wow.
Okay.
You have the floor.
All right. Let us look at the Elemental Novice. 3rd level ability. It starts with, once you take this conclave path, you have successfully gathered the ability to harness the elements. You gain the following traits when you select this archetype. You are now able to imbue the power of the elements into your attacks. Roll a d6 on the table below to determine the elemental damage. You gain proficiency in Arcana. Additionally, your spell list is expanded to the Sorcerer spell list, but only gaining access to its conjuration spells. You gain a small elemental familiar, CR 1/4 to 1/2. You are able to cast spells through. And then the D6 table is fire, cold, lightning, acid, and poison. Okay.
All right. Next ability, 7th level. For the Elemental Strider, we have Nature's Surges. Your bond with the elements deepens, allowing you to draw forth additional power when you use your elemental infusion. Whenever you use an elemental infusion, you can choose one of the following surges to enhance its effects. You can apply only one surge per infusion, and you decide to use it after you know the attack hits, but before the target makes its saving throw. You may use this feature a number of times equal to your proficiency bonus. You regain all uses on a short or long rest. Wood Surge. If the target fails its saving throw to resist the grasping roots, it takes additional bludgeoning damage equal to half your ranger level rounded down at the start of its next turn, as the roots squeeze the creature more until it's freed. Lightning Surge. When you use your lightning infusion, you can target up to 2 different creatures with the secondary bolt instead of 1. Each secondary target must be within 30 feet of the primary target and must make a dexterity saving throw. On a failed save, the target takes the secondary lightning damage in full. On a success, only half. And before, I think it was 15 feet. Yeah, so that doubles the length as well. Fire Surge. The radius of your scorching burst effect increases to 15 feet, so only 5 feet, not double. And each creature that fails its saving throw is also pushed 10 feet away from the target instead of 5. Ice Surge. If the target fails its Constitution saving throw against the chilling shock, it is also partially slowed, having its speed reduced by half until the end of its next turn. While slowed in this way, it can't take bonus actions, and it can't make more than one attack when it takes the attack action. So multi-attack is off. It already can't do its reactions, and now it can't do bonus actions. Okay. You have the floor.
All right. Apprentice of the Elements, level 7. Having trained in the skill of harnessing the elements, you gain further elemental potency in your attacks. Elemental Barrage. You call down a storm of arrows dealing different forms of elemental damages. You can use this ability a number of times equal to your proficiency modifier per day. You regain all charges after a long rest. Area of effect is a 20-foot radius, and they are going to be dexterity saving throws. And then the damage is going to be 10, which is 3d6 piercing damage, plus 21, 66, all of the elements. Additionally, you no longer have to roll for elemental damage type. You gain the ability to choose your damage type. You can now use a bonus action to change damage. Okay. So now it's almost like I'm elementally like charging my weapon.
I wonder if that means if like any creature hit in that radius, it is 66 is 1d6 per element. So they take all of the elements, a d6 of each.
Got you.
That's cool. I like that. That's dope.
Okay. Beautiful, beautiful.
Moving on to level 11. Now with level 11, we get Primal Wayfaring. You gain environmental attunements that help you navigate and survive in the wild. Whenever you finish a short or long rest, choose wood, lightning, fire, or ice nature. You gain the exploration benefits of that element until you finish your next short or long rest. That's cool for a ranger. So you get to change your terrain type, basically what terrain type you can travel through. That's cool. I like that.
That's wild.
Wood is earthly resilience. You have advantage on wisdom, specifically survival checks, made to forage or navigate in forests or dense vegetation. You can also cause minor growth of plants, such as creating temporary shelter from vines or coaxing bushes to produce edible berries. In combat forest terrain, if you fight in an area with an abundant vegetation, as determined by the DM, the first time you use your wood infusion each turn, the target has disadvantage on its first saving throw against that infusion. Lightning, Sky's favor. You have advantage on wisdom, survival, or intelligence nature checks to predict weather and navigate open plains or stormy areas. You can also produce small static sparks to ignite campfires or send brief visual signals. In combat, stormy conditions. If you fight outdoors under stormy skies, DM discretion. The first time you use your lightning infusion each turn, if the creature fails its dexterity saving throw, it takes additional lightning damage equal to your wisdom modifier. Not a lot, but good at low levels. Fire, embers, comfort. You have advantage on survival checks to navigate deserts, volcanic regions, or areas of extreme heat. You can ignite small fires instantly and keep them stable like a campfire or torch, even in windy conditions. I kind of would have liked to see two different versions of starting a fire. Like, I didn't need to see two ways of starting a fire, but I get it. It's survival. In combat, heated environments. If you fight in an environment infused with intense heat or flames, such as volcanic caverns or burning forest, the radius of your fire's infusion explosion increases by 5 feet. And creatures that fail their saving throw take an additional fire damage equal to your wisdom modifier. Ice. Frost Warden's Cunning. You have advantage on wisdom or on survival checks to navigate icy tundras, glaciers, or snow-covered terrain. You can freeze small amounts of water, preserve food by chilling it, and purify snow into drinking water. In combat, frigid conditions.
Drinking water is dope.
Yeah. If you fight in an environment of intense cold or ice, the first time you use your ice infusion each turn, creatures that fail their saving throw have their speed reduced by an additional 5 feet until the end of their next turn. All right.
That's it's definitely hitting the synergy button.
Yeah.
All right. Next, our level 11 ability, Elemental Journeyman. Having a better connection to the elemental planes, you have a better understanding of the elements you're utilizing. Your traits and features gain the following benefits. You can cast the spell Conjure Elemental as an action 3 times a day. You can use this feature again after a long rest. That's wild.
I love it. I'm so here for it.
Absolutely love it. Next, you gain the Elemental Adept feat, and it applies to all the elements instead of selecting one. Wild.
The Elemental Adept. When you gain this feat, choose one of the following damage types: acid, cold, fire, lightning, or thunder. Spells you cast ignore resistance to damage of the chosen type. In addition, when you roll damage for a spell you cast that deals that type of damage, you can treat any one on the damage as a 2. You can select this feature multiple times. Each time you do so, you can select a different damage type. You ignore resistance. You treat 1s as 2s.
On all of those damage types.
Anytime
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
So that makes barrage even more devastating.
The last one, your elemental barrage ability damage increases from a d6 to a d8. Now does 13 3d8 piercing damage.
I like that. So it's still 6 die, but they're going from a 6 to an 8. I like that. Elemental Strider at level 15. It's Elemental Apex.
Okay.
It's a cool name.
Okay, I like it.
Your command of the elements reaches its pinnacle, enabling you to combine elemental forces into devastating strikes. I like the word combine here. Dual infusion. Once per turn, when you use your elemental infusion, you can expend 2 uses of it at once to apply 2 different elemental effects to the same weapon attack. On hit, You must call which infusion you're using first, then apply the first element's damage and effects, including any saving throws, followed by the second. I like that terminology. I like how we're thinking through that. If both elements require a saving throw, the creature that fails the first save makes the second save with disadvantage. I love when they just work,
especially if
like
it's
that.
back to back. You're just like getting hit with a 1-2 punch. Disadvantage makes so much sense.
I 100% agree. Elemental Crescendo. When you use a dual infusion, the swirling energies left behind empower your next strike. The next time you take the attack action before the end of your next turn, you can use Elemental Infusion without expending a use.
So you use 2, but you get 1 for free. That's kind of baller.
And we end with, by weaving multiple elements together in a single blow, you truly embody the fury and versatility of the natural world.
Wild, wild, wild.
All right, Conclave has the floor.
All right, finally, Master of the Elements, 15th level. You have mastered the elements, now able to stand par to monks of the elemental hands and storm herald barbarians.
Throwing some shade.
Your mastered traits are as follows. Elemental Master. All of your elemental damage gets maxed out. Weapons, spells, etc.
So that 6d8 is guaranteed max damage and passes right through resistance.
Wild.
Damn.
You can cast Conjure Elemental an amount of times equal to your proficiency modifier. And lastly, elemental barrage damage changes to a D10 and now does 16 3d10 piercing damage and 6d because again, all elemental damage is maxed out.
So 10 points of each damage. You're doing a 3d10 piercing damage plus 10 of every elemental damage. Wow. And goes through all of those resistances. Woo. We're about to get into the voting rounds.
Ooh.
Now that we've gone through all of this, now we actually get to go into the fun rounds. This was just all of the information. So we bring up the score. So the score is now back in the middle, as you can see. Score is now 0-0. Real quick, the mechanics of this are a 5-round best of 3 voting system. It is going to be an A-B voting. So each round you are going to be provided a prompt and you are going to choose which subclass you think wins. We will do 4 primary rounds, and if necessary, we have a tiebreaker round. Round info, as you can see on screen, we're going to be looking at everything from how well does it meet the prompt, how original is it, what are the feats and mechanics like, and then round 4, we're going to have some fun looking at how does it look in game. And here are the prizes. The winner will get 10,000 high points, which is our channel currency. The subclass that wins will be featured in one of our future publications, whether it's our ADMG, something that we're working on right now. And they will also be able to choose the selfish option, which is taking 3 months of a free subscription to the channel if they want to save some money, or they can have us spend a little bit more of our money and we will gift out 5 gifted subs to the community. Those are the rules. And now we are moving on to the voting. All right, everybody, are we ready? Voting round number 1. Prompt integration. Does it feel like it belongs? You are voting on how well each subclass fulfills the prompt, their thematic cohesion, and is it coherent and fitting for a ranger? This is purely based on everyone's individual choice.
But the question is not just which fits the theme, because theoretically 2 things can be true. They could both fit.
They both can, but in your opinion,
which fits the theme best?
I have my vote.
All right, let me know when there's 1 minute. Give me a 1 minute warning.
So question from chat. So are we basing it off of what we think fits the theme thematically and mechanically? Yes, this is 100% what you have just heard from each of these subclasses. Which do you personally feel fits these questions? And votes are coming in. Votes are coming in. We have 3 votes so far. All right, are we ready? I'm ready to post mine.
Let's all right,
You ready?
Let's do it.
3, 2, 1, post. Ooh. I voted for the Elemental Striker. You voted for the Conclave. And chat voted for the Elemental Strider. 3-0. So that means that Hecate wins the point for round. Hecate is 1-0.
All right. Okay. Okay. But it's not over yet. It's not over yet.
All right, everyone. Round 2, originality. Have we seen this before? You are voting on the innovation in subclass mechanics or narrative theme, subversion or reinvention of familiar archetypes, and boldness in design. Did they take a creative risk? This one is probably going to be the hardest one to do, in my opinion.
That's so weird. That's so weird. That last one was really hard for me.
All right, everybody. Who is more original? You have Elemental Strider, which has these great ranged weapons, extra damage, and they each do like a little bit of an elemental, like a buff. Like the wood, it grasps them. Lightning hits an other person. Fire does an explosion. And then ice can slow them down, right? So you get these extra added effects from all of these ranged attacks. But then you have the Elemental Conclave, which is really all about changing it up, deciding that your damage is going to be different. You are doing just massive amounts of elemental damage, piercing right through those resistances, and you're able to dominate the battlefield with your familiar, with your elemental summoning. It's all about battlefield control and damage output, whereas the other one is much more about like tactical insertion of your abilities.
My mindset immediately takes me to when I see what's presented in front of me, when I see what each one of these subclasses contains. Have I seen this before? Like you said, is it something that already exists out there somewhere in another form, or is this something that I feel like the author birthed? Mm-hmm. Right, like that to me is where my mind immediately goes, and so it is definitely a challenge.
Okay,
absolutely.
Weird. Do you have yours? I have mine written in chat.
I do have mine.
Chat's 50-50. The last like 30-40 seconds, chat. Someone in chat has to vote. There has to be another vote out there.
Swing it.
Come on. No swing vote. Oh, chat is gonna go 50-50. All right, 3, 2, 1, post. Oh, look at that. I voted for Soul. You voted for Soul. The Conclave gets the originality because even though chat was split, doesn't matter.
We were of
2 out of 3.
Mind.
It still goes 2 out of 3. So that's okay. All right. Well, wow. Who would have thought a neck and neck battle from the get-go?
Dude, I'm telling you.
Wow.
They're so good. They're so good.
This is insane. I did not expect. Oh my God. This is insane. Okay.
I expect to get to that 5th round.
All right. Are we ready? Are we ready for round 3, everybody?
I'm ready for round 3.
Round number 3. Features and mechanics. Does it work as a subclass? Now we are looking for the analysis of a balancing across the levels, 3rd, 7th, 11th, 15th. We're analyzing the action economy and party synergy. What does this look like for a party? What does this look like in a campaign? What does this look like in terms of going from one level to the next? Not just matching the prompt, but now we're talking about the synergy from first to 20th. And can you imagine a clear use case or flexible application of these abilities, or do you feel it's very situational? This is the round 3 analysis of the mechanics. Poll is going up here in just a moment.
I'm mad that I can only choose one because they're so close. They're so close. It's like it doesn't seem right. It doesn't seem right.
I absolutely agree, but this is why I chose these questions. I hope you guys are like thrilled about these questions because I am. I'm torn on this one. I'm really, really torn on this one. Okay, I got my vote in. I know what I'm voting. It's not easy, but I know what I'm voting.
It's not easy, but I also know what I'm voting.
All right, chat. We got 13 people in chat. Come on. We got, this is only round 3. We got potentially 2 more rounds. I am so excited about this. I really want to see where this goes, but we really, really want that chat inspiration. All right, looks like we are down to probably the last minute, everybody. Last minute, get those votes in. Who in this round 3 has the best features and mechanics? Who is balanced? Who is the most balanced? Who has the best action economy, the best party synergy? Who has the best clear use cases and the most versatility? Who are you taking into that battle? We're down to the last 30 seconds. Everybody get those votes in if you haven't. I know that there are people in chat, but they just don't care because they're not voting. It's fine. Are you ready to post yours?
I am ready.
All right. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I vote for the Strider Hecate. You vote for the Strider Hecate. Chat votes for the Strider. Hecate wins the point for round 3. Are we going to have a tie? Are we going to have a tiebreaker?
It's so upsetting because I wanted to choose Soul so badly. Like, so badly. Like,
okay, so are we ready, everybody? Are we ready for round 4? Because y'all don't even know what round 4 is going to have. Are you?
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Are you all ready for round 4?
A little in action something?
So
okay.
Round 4 is not just any round. This is not a simple 1 or 2. Round 4 consists of 3 segments. Each individual segment will be voted upon, just as this will be. And then all 3 segments will be tallied up for the round 4 point.
Okay. I love it. I love it. It's 3 Inception.
Exactly. As stated before, round 1, we will go back to the original rules in case anybody wants a refresher. Round 1 was the prompt integration. Did it fit?
Yep.
Round 2 was originality.
Yep.
Round 1 was won by Hecate the Strider. Round 2, originality, was won by Soul with the Conclave. Round 3, the features and abilities, was won by Hecate with the Strider. And now round 4, remember, was the inaction. How are we going to do that? Well, we decided we couldn't do it live. That would be almost too difficult.
Fair enough.
Much time constraints, too difficult to do. But I was able to find what I think is an acceptable alternative.
All right. Let's
Round 4. An AI will run 3 distinct simulations or scenarios already done.
Okay.
For each, the AI has simulated both of the subclasses, narrated an outcome, and has assessed and cast its own vote on which it thinks.
Interesting.
But I thought that while that would be kind of cool to have an impartial vote, I thought that's not good enough. So after each scenario, we are going to hold a vote on whether we agree with the AI or not.
Okay.
2 out of 3 votes in agreement will keep the vote. 2 out of 3 votes in disagreement will flip the vote.
Okay.
All right, everybody. AI Arena Simulation number 1, the Gauntlet Above. Scenario setup. Far above the world, in the shattered ruins of an ancient elemental observatory suspended by stormbound chains, a planar rift pulses violently. Winds tear through exposed stone. Arcs of elemental energy fracture the air, and unstable magic surges across levitating platforms. The Guardian of the Rift, a wind-forged sentinel, a creature of sentient storm, shifts the terrain with each movement. Gravity lurches, lightning crashes, spells misfire. The party is split. Only those who can master the elements in chaos will survive.
Okay. I'm excited to see how these guys attack this.
That is the setup. Let us see how the elemental Strider prevailed. The elemental Strider, submitted by Hecate. As the storm rages and the battlefield splinters, the elemental Strider immediately attunes to the environment, sensing the violent air pressure and surging ley currents. They tap into lightning infusion and lash forward, releasing forked arcs that dance between the platforms. A secondary bolt leaps across a crevice, disrupting a flanking elemental spawn. Moments later, a shift in pressure signals on incoming collapse. Swapping to wood infusion, the ranger roots themselves within withering tendrils, anchoring to stone and yanking a falling ally back from the brink. As conditions worsen, the Strider pivots again, this time to Ice Surge, freezing the mist to form a stable platform mid-jump and halting the Sentinel's advance with a speed reducing blasts. Their dual infusion triggers at a crucial moment, layering fire beneath lightning to sear and shock the enemy, forcing a failed save that staggers it. Despite the chaos, the Strider thrives, adapting in seconds, elemental fury dancing through every motion. I also like how the AI twisted the use of the wood on its own on the caster.
And
using the wood to grapple yourself so you don't fall instead of grappling an enemy.
And using the ice to create a little platform you could freaking jump on.
The AI took that in a place I didn't expect it to.
Yes.
But I do like that. So that was how the elemental Strider prevailed. Let's find out how the Conclave did. Conclave by Soul, simulation outcome. The Conclave Ranger opens the battlefield by sending their elemental familiar into the air, using it to bait the Sentinel's attention while knocking arrows from a high perch. Calling upon elemental barrage, they rain down a storm of mixed energies: fire, lightning, acid, all exploding across 3 platforms. As the wind howls, the Ranger calls upon their Conjure Elemental, manifesting a magma brute that clambers through the debris, drawing heat towards the Sentinel and anchoring part of the battlefield. As the terrain destabilizes, they adapt, switching to cold damage via the bonus action, slowing the Sentinel's approach. Their arrows curve around obstacles, strategically denying space and damaging both Guardian and terrain alike. They finish the barrage with a perfectly timed Thunderbolt shot, collapsing a levitating bridge beneath the Elemental's reinforcements. The result? A storm answered by a storm, range devastation, and summoned presence defying the flow of combat. All right, so let's see what AI thought about this. The Elemental Strider exhibited masterful adaptation and reactive control, leveraging terrain, status effects, and layered elemental combinations. The Conclave delivered devastating ranged pressure and effective battlefield control, leaning on raw power and summons. Both performed excellently, but the Strider's dynamic interplay with terrain and elements under pressure gave them the edge in this situation. The AI's vote is that the Elemental Strider wins this sim. So
is this just the vote is now agree, disagree instead of
correct
one versus the other?
So basically, do you agree? Yes, Strider won. No, they didn't. Poll is out. Do you agree with the AI sim? Did the Strider win? Yes or no? Flip the vote to Conclave. I don't know. This is close. Man, these are good. No one's asking questions. No one's needing us to go over any information. It seems like everyone's pretty on top of this. I'm not needing that long. Like, I don't mind talking about it, but
I sometimes need that long.
Yeah.
Currently in the lead overall in points.
Let me show you. Hecate, 2-1. All right, we are down to the wire. Are you ready to post yours? I'm ready to post mine. I think we're down to the last 40 seconds.
Yep, I am.
All right. It's down to the wire, chat. All right, here we are. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, post. Ooh, agree and disagree. I agreed that the Strider won that one. You thought the Conclave.
I really did.
But chat
I really did.
Believed that the Strider won that one. So that is one sim for Hecate.
Okay.
And the Elemental Strider. But we're not done. We have sim number 2. The Shifting Hollow. Within the ancient heart of the Whisper Woods, time and truth twist unnaturally. A druidic circle once protected the region, but now elemental corruption has shattered its balance. The tree whispers conflicting paths. The stars do not align, and illusions pulse with planar energy. The party must track a missing druid through this layered sentient terrain, navigating mirages, false trails, and environmental hazards drawn from all elemental realms. Success lies not just in survival, but in perception, adaptability, and elemental understanding.
Okay. I think I'm tracking.
All right. Elemental Strider from Hecate. Entering the hollow, the Strider immediately shifts into wood attunement, sensing unnatural stillness in places where plant life should thrive. Vines stir, not with wind, but with intent. The Ranger invokes grasping roots to test the illusion's reaction. The vegetation doesn't resist, it dissolves. False trail. Moving on, the Strider taps into ice infusion, freezing, trickling water to reveal broken footprints beneath, tracking the druid's route through the warped time. As planar instability worsens, the Strider rotates between elemental states each day. Lightning to follow storm echoes of teleportation surge, fire to burn through illusionary underbrush concealing the druid's staff. At a key moment, a surge of corrupted elemental creatures ambushes the party. The Strider's terrain-readied powers activate. Frostwarden Cunning and Sky's Favor tipping the balance. They not only find the druid, but restore stability to the Glade's fractured node.
Okay. Very interesting.
Let's see how the Conclave fared. The Conclave Ranger sets up early defenses, summoning an elemental familiar attuned to air, using it to scout narrow trails that pulse with false readings. Leveraging their arcane proficiency and deep connection to conjuring, they identify unstable planar rifts camouflaged as puddles and avoid a near-lethal time warp. At one such hazard, they cast Conjure Elemental, a frost entity, which absorbs ambient chaos, temporarily stabilizing the path forward. The hollow pushes back, manifesting creatures from poison frogs and fractured stone. The Conclave Ranger maintains range, launching precision attacks while swapping damage types to test creatures' resistances. Acid disables one, thunder shatters another. Their elemental barrage clears a corrupted grove entirely, dispersing the illusions hiding the druid's last known location. Their summon companion carries a binding ward ahead to contain residual corruption as the party advances.
Okay, very interesting.
All right, simulation number 2, outcome. Both sides performed well in navigating magical terrain and tracking through distortion. The Strider's ability to dynamically interpret terrain, reveal falsehoods, and utilize elemental attunements for both navigation and restoration demonstrated a higher degree of environmental synergy. The Conclave's Ranger, Conjuration, and Arcana tools were well used, but the Strider ultimately felt more intimately tied with the land and the mystery. AI votes the Elemental Strider takes this simulation. So once again, the vote will be, do you agree? So who do you think won this particular one?
I don't want to give up my vote just yet.
Oh, yeah, I'm just asking. But was it the Elemental Strider that was able to go from one to the next, piercing through the illusions and burning away everything? Or was it the Conclave being able to utilize its friendly abilities to mark a path through?
I very much I liked the different approach that this scenario took. Like you're tracking somebody down, you're doing very much other rangery type things. You know, I feel like that very much fits with the attempt to test, are these rangers rangering? Like, yes, I can do elemental damage, but like it's an elemental ranger specifically. So I like the approach that it's very interesting how they're implementing them, how they're describing them. But I like the mindset that they're putting behind each one, and I genuinely believe that like they have the right idea for what this type of person in this class would be going after. So
yeah,
I'm here for that.
I'm
here for that.
Time to post in 3, 2, 1. Post. Looks like chat agreed that the Strider won this scenario. You agreed that the Strider won. I actually gave this one to the Conclave.
Interesting.
And it's particularly because of how I looked at the use of their special abilities. I felt the AI took a bit of a leap with the wood attunement, and like that kind of turned me off. Whereas a creature I summon that is of the elements, I feel way more comfortable letting them lead me through than me saying, because I can use the elements to attack, I should also know when they're not. I feel like the Conclave had the more appropriate response with elemental friends than the suggestion that their elemental attunement gave them extra sensory perception.
So I will say this, very similar to the first one, how I understand the AI's interpretation of what was going on, but the way I look at it, the way that, even if I don't necessarily agree with exactly how they said the Conclave in the last one would have attacked them, I do agree that the Conclave would have been better at attacking.
Yeah, and that totally makes sense. I just feel like, yeah, I like.
I do agree. I do agree with
in terms of the actual scenario of just walking through an elementally like distorted place. I feel like having an elemental is realistically, I'm more likely to trust that that's going to get me through than, oh, these roots feel fake. You know, it just so that's why I try to flip it for you there, Soul. So the Conclave did not get that point. Chat, and you agree. The Conclave wins Sim 2. That is 2 out of 3 Sims. So Hecate will get the 4th round point. But should we look at the 3rd Sim?
Just I 100% want to see it. I 100% want to see it.
So here, let's look at the 3rd Sim and see where we go. Anyway, the Silent Masquerade. In the velvet-lit ballroom of the House Virulin, the nobles of Araska gather under enchanted chandeliers. Masks conceal identities, but some guests are more than human. A splinter sect of elemental cultists have infiltrated the High Court, plotting to unravel the city's planar seals. The Ranger must uncover the cultists without provoking suspicion. Spells are heavily restricted. Magic is monitored. Weapons are disguised. Eyes are everywhere. In this den of secrets and symbols, only grace, wit, and the subtle use of power can prevail.
Interesting. This is for a ranger.
This is why I wanted this one to be the last one. I loved this scenario.
Wild.
It's a totally unique approach on a subclass test, but that's why I loved this. I loved this idea. All right, so let us see how each one would have prevailed. The Elemental Strider, slipping into the masquerade with a mask woven from real vine and mist-chilled silk. The Strider surveys the chamber like one raiding the forest canopy for predators. They subtly invoke wood attunement, brushing past a potted plant and whispering to its leaves for movement cues. Spotting a guest who never casts a shadow, the ranger surges ice infusion into their drink, watching to see if it freezes naturally. It doesn't. Cultist mark. Their ability to subtly manipulate elemental effects as gestures or environmental accents, condensation, static flickers, or an ember dancing against wind becomes a social language. One cultist reacts too strongly. The Strider feigns a toast, brushing the cultist's hand with faint lightning. The mask flickers. The jig is up. With diplomatic precision, they quietly draw a sigil on the wall with fire attunement, a flare that signals their ally hidden in the rafters. The cult is revealed. No blade drawn.
Interesting.
All right, and now for the Conclave. Arriving in a tailored cloak, the Conclave Ranger appears nothing more than a dashing noble with a decorative bowpin. But concealed under their sleeve is a tiny elemental familiar, creature of whispering wind. Flits from table to table, picking up murmured conversations and bringing them back via coded gusts. The Ranger uses Arcana checks to decipher layered magical bindings on servant trays, detecting subtle glyphs used by the cultists to track their victims. They deploy Conjure Elemental outside the building, masked as a fireworks display tribute, giving them an excuse to create a faint tremor inside. Amid the confusion, they trigger Elemental Barrage, not as a destructive strike, but by launching a single arrow that splits into spectral shards above the dance floor. The arrow highlights those unaffected by magic, telltale trait of the cult. In the silence that follows, the nobles gasp. The evidence is visual. The cultists are outed, with barely a breath whispered.
I'm not gonna lie, I love that use of barrage.
Right?
I freaking love that use of barrage.
Even the elemental as a fireworks display is kind of a dope concept to be, and I'm not gonna lie, that's kind of, and then again, the idea that it used it to make the quake so no one inside realized what, all right, let's see what the AI thought. AI outcome. The simulation was nearly dead even. The Strider leaned on thematic nuance and natural empathy, using elemental signs like a druidic detective. The Conclave Ranger executed a brilliant tactical ruse with spellcasting, sleight of hand, and social engineering. Ultimately, the Conclave's use of deception via spellwork, familiar scouting, and illusion-breaking logic gave the edge in the high-pressure, no-combat infiltration. Conclave of Quivered Elements wins this simulation. I'll do a poll just because I want to see what chat would have said.
I'm not gonna lie.
All right, this one's only gonna be for 2 minutes because technically this round's already won.
Sure.
But I really want to know. So post it in chat. You like the simulations? Thank you, Hecate. I had a lot of fun refining these down until I got them to
feel the way you were looking for. Yeah.
I'm so glad you guys like the simulations. Thank you guys so much. I really do appreciate it. Let's see. I don't know which one. Yeah, okay. I mean, again, do we want to wait it out, or I think chat's already in there. I know what my vote is for this last one.
I also know what my vote is.
Should we just post them?
All right,
3, 2, 1, post it. Yeah, Conclave all the way. Like it's not that the Elemental Strider didn't have some fun uses, and I love the slyness.
Yeah,
but the balls to be able to do those spells, again, magic's limited and you shouldn't, it's, but to be able to use it as a distraction like that is,
it's deception. It's the being able to be uniquely creative with it in that way, and how effective it could be in a scenario like that. Mm-hmm. I'm here for that.
Yeah.
So
and that's why I wanted to go over that last sim. That last sim was my favorite, I think, of all of them. So I'm really happy we read through that one. And again, see, it shows that the Strider isn't a landslide, completely. It's so close. But I hope it comes across that this was not easy, you two. So it is official. The Elemental Strider from Hecate does officially win it. That was so much fun. We do have a 3-1 win. So prizes. Hecate, Thank you so much for your participation and your submission. Soul, thank you so much for your participation and submission. This was a lot of fun. I hope you all come up with more ideas. If you guys like this, let us know in the comments on YouTube. Let us know in chat. Let us know in Discord. If you like this, we will do this more. It was a lot of fun for us to run. It was a lot of fun to build, and I'm excited to do more of this. Soul and Hecate made this test themselves and asked us, would we be willing to do something with it? On. And of course we were. This was by you, for you. So thank you. Thank you very much. This was absolutely phenomenal to do. Let me get your prizes out, Hecate. And finally, what do you want to do? Gift 5 subs to the community. That is what we wanted to know. Give me 1 second and I will take care of that for you. Gift. Oh, and it's on sale right now. Bam! Vixie just got subscribed. Marty just got a subscription. Magoder just got a subscription. Penguin and Aki all just got a subscription. Congratulations to all of you. You can thank Hecate. That was on behalf of their win to the community.
Amazing.
Thank you guys so much. We're going to get out of here. We appreciate everything. I hope you all had a great week. I hope you have a fantastic weekend ahead of you. But otherwise, we will see you all during our normally scheduled D&D content. That's going to be us, guys. Cheers.
Deuces, my friends.